Hello, 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 and welcome to Noobs R Us GT3 Rookie Series Season 6, Race 1 here at Silverstone Circuit. I am alone in the booth tonight. I'm your host, Jeremy Cubbage. We're going to be watching the AM split, the rookies, for their first race. The second race will be the Pro split. The AMs are currently out on track doing their qualifying. They should be completing their out lap and starting their hot laps if they haven't been doing that. We're 5 minutes into qualifying. I just want to say hello in chat. We got Douglas Furnish shouting himself out, and David, he's shouting out David. And Spencer Brown in chat. Hello, Spencer. How are you? We got a lot of new faces out on track tonight. I'm going to get rid of this autopilot cam stuff so we can do this on our own here. Right now, we're looking at, I'm going to go ahead and throw on the lap time spread so you can see this. Nobody has done a clean lap yet. Everybody has started their hot lap, so we will start seeing some drivers jumping in. Spencer, I haven't forgotten about sending you those stickers, by the way. I have them. They're sitting on my shelf. I just haven't forgotten. I just haven't gotten to it because I'm lazy. Because what? Tubbs, good to see you. You racing tonight, Mr. Tubbs? Doesn't look like it. Are you? I don't know. All right, we got some laps being put down. Foster, the first one, a 2:04. Joe Allison, with a 2-minute flat. Doug Furnish, 2:01.2. So we are getting some times put down. You're going to see that little grid on the right side start to fill up. Oh yeah, I forgot. We've got a lot of follows, even from before the race had started, up to 20 days ago. We weren't even streaming, so thank you for all the follows. Del Rat Queen, thank you for joining and following. RCF Joseph, 14 minutes ago, thank you. Galactic Ghost, an hour ago, thank you for the follow. Cars in storage, won't see until March. Okay, let me know early February to send you that, okay, Spencer, and I'll get it sent to you. Tubbs, you are not. Only got one practice lap before today. I feel that, man. I feel that. That's how I was with the intermediate. Okay, sounds good. We'll be happy to have you in here. While we've been chatting, Roderick Rudd has done a 2-minute.7. And Manuel Ramirez is our first sub 2 minute with a 1:59.617. The Mothman Man, hello. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. Got a bunch of information on screen there. The right side is going to be the fastest lap times. It's kind of show like where they're at in reference to car length, more or less. You can see Emmanuel Ramirez is nearly a car length ahead of second place. And then second all the way down to 8th are kind of in line with each other. And then 9th through 12th are they kind of fell off a little bit there. And then left side of the screen, that'll be up for the entire race. This will show the drivers, their positions, their relative position to the driver ahead or behind them, or rather the driver ahead of them, and then their last lap time. The top of the screen will show nearly all the drivers, their last lap or their fastest lap times, their car number, how many positions were changed, all of that at the top. Left side will show the amount of laps, and roughly the amount of laps, and then remaining laps, and the right side will show the time. Then, of course, there's a track map. It's going to show the start-finish. You'll see, like, I can't really point it out to you, but the start-finish is not in the right spot on that track map. Where you see 31 sitting in the pits on that track map, that will be your start-finish line. So if I say the wrong turn number, I'm sorry. That's where I'm referencing today. I want to thank everybody for being here and joining us for our sixth season. This goes into year 2 for Noobs R Us as a community, year 3 as a race team. So we've been watching Ramirez. While we've been doing that, Adam Touray, I said that wrong. 2 drinks a rye is how you say it. Has put down a 1:58.765. So We'll see how long he stays in the AM split. Him and Ramirez both, they may end up moving. But like I said, a lot of new faces and a lot of faces we've seen. Touray, Ramirez. Chanley was here last season. This is his second season with us. He's glitching out, so hopefully he doesn't have too many issues. Roderick Rudd. We've seen Mr. Rudd before. Wes Jones. Fighting hard for that top 10 position. Joe Allison is new. Joseph Liberato is new. Jake Woolams is new. Glenn Jacobs, the Wreck-It Race team principal, also a Noobs R Us Works driver, representing the Noobs R Us car today. Douglas Furnish, his last season with us was our finale of the GT4s. We stopped doing GT4s right after he left, but he's back. We got R.L. Brown, Mike Cook, both of those drivers we've seen before. Foster is new. C. Wells, he's been around for a while in that Wreck-It Race team AMG. Garrick Bennett has been here for at least a season as well. Jeremy Hayes is brand new in that nearly default green and blue car. We'll see him in a colorful car eventually. Garrick Bennett, I feel like I've seen him around, but I'm doing a really bad job remembering. Everybody knows Lizzie Alisea. She's been with us since the beginning in her Wreck-It Race Team Ford Mustang. Kind of weird seeing her in a Mustang. Didn't think she'd be driving it, but there she is. Russell Harrell, I think. Harrell, maybe? Never seen him before. Welcome. Ian Guzzoni. I hope I'm saying that right. Another new face. Jordan Meredith, Sideways in the Dirt. Corey Schreiber, new driver. Phil Dixon, new driver. Bobby Harold, we've seen him around. Same with Christopher Chan. Jeremy Knorr, I feel like I've seen around, but I can't really remember. Everybody knows Sean Bramer, Andrew Freiberger, and Luis Figueroa. I'm hoping he's in the correct car. He is in a Porsche, but I don't know if he's in the correct one. While we've been talking, Adam Taraj has done a 158.765, Ramirez 159.617. And one of the new drivers in the pits right now is in third with a 2-minute flat. Followed by another new driver, Jake Woolams, 2-minute .1. And then R. Chanley rounding out the top 5. Hello, Devin. Austin Gerber is driving a bad quali, apparently. Well, he'll be in a bad position for his race, but he's going to have to catch up. Lots of drivers out on track today. 33 drivers rounding out the GT3s. I'm hoping we're going to see minimal bonks. However, this is the AM split, and anything can happen. It is also the first race, so we're going to see some people in places that they probably shouldn't be. We're going to expect improvement throughout the series. You're going to see lots of bonks during this first race. By the end of the series, you're going to see a lot of clean racing, even from AM drivers. Looks like we're having some people with connectivity issues. Hopefully they can fix themselves. James Casaboon in chat. Hello, James. Race day. Let's go, Dougie Fresh. Head on a swivel. Welcome back. Good to see you. A lot of new faces. Another thing you can expect is to see a decrease in the amount of drivers throughout the season. It's unfortunate, but people end up trying us for a first season and realizing that sim racing maybe isn't for them. Or maybe they found a better sim racing league to go to, which is fine. We're here to help people learn and get better. That's all we want. We're on our last 6-7 minutes of qualifying. You can see in the top right corner of the screen there. You can see the major gap between Adam Touray and Ramirez. And then Ramirez's gap behind him is closed up. But you can see from second place down to 12th, everybody is within that car length of each other. We're going to see a pretty good race for the top 10, I believe. While we've been out and about, I'm going to take a quick look at some improving drivers right now. It looks like Dougie Fresh in 9th place is up 0.3 on his time as he goes into Stowe. Nice long right-hand sweeper early on the gas will get you a good run into the chicane up ahead, but he's got a car ahead of him. Both these drivers are entitled to finishing their hot lap without impedance. Looks like the guy on the inside is giving way. Furnish now up 5/10, losing a little bit of time on the way out. Hopefully he didn't invalidate. He lost almost all of his time on the way out of that. We'll see if he can gain that time back as the lap progresses. While he's doing that, we're going to jump down to 18th place with Drew Freiberger. That beautiful GT Racing Academy. Black and green. Up 7/10 on his previous time of a 201.9. 7/10 could put him up maybe 3 positions. Not a lot, but enough for him to move up. So we'll see if he continues to improve. Tyranno 07, no worries. Everybody has life. I want to welcome everybody to the stream. If you guys are new to sim racing and you want to see what sim racing is about, feel free to jump in and join our series. You can join mid-season. This is race 1. If you want to join race 2, you can. There is going to be a drop scoring, so no matter what, eventually one of your races will be dropped, okay? And that's for everybody, for your scoring. So if you miss a race, that's fine. But you can sign out as many as you need to or whatever. You just can't not show up or you'll get penalized for that through SimGrid. Drew up a whole second on his time. A second on his time will move him up into 13th, maybe 12th, or 14th rather. Let's see what happens. Up into 13th. Good job, Drew. See if you can make another improvement and move up into the top 10. Another couple drivers up on their time is Chan in 22nd. He's up 1.4 seconds almost on his time. Unfortunately, I don't have a place on screen that shows how far up or down they are. Maybe I can find a place for that. Give me just a second. I'll see if I can find where that might be and how I can make it look. Let's see. Would it be not gap distance? Huh. I want to see their relative. No, I don't see anything that'll show all that, unfortunately. Maybe we can figure something out at a later time. This is actually one of my least favorite tracks. I'm terrible at it. That's why. Chan up into 16th place. So he did make an improvement. Looks like we got Hugo the 8th. No, that's wrong. Hugo the 13th. I did the math wrong. I might be saying that wrong. Watch his name be like Hugo Zill. Xill. No, he's probably the 13th. Up a whole second on his time as well. 2 minutes, 0.9. He's coming around the final corner now. See if he moves up into any other positions. A 9/10 improvement moves him up into 3rd place. 159.995. What a run from Hugo. First and second. Oh my goodness, you are absolutely right. The difference between, look at that on the left side of the screen, between Adam Turai and Emmanuel Ramirez is 0.005 of a second. Holy crap, you guys. Now, Emmanuel last season did get into some bonks. He is with the Wreck-It Race team, so hopefully he's going to learn a bit from them and improve. I would like to see him be a little bit cleaner this season around. Last 2 minutes of qualifying. Hugo, up 0.3. 0.3 could move him up into first. We'll see if Hugo moves up. These top 3 drivers may not be the top 3 of the rookies for very long. They may move into that pro split. The new WRT rookie liveries do look good, don't they? Let's take a quick look at them. Look at Glenn. Nope, Glenn is not driving it. Let's watch Eric Metcalf. Nope, he's not out on track. We'll come back. Emmanuel. Take a quick look, skis. That black is like a Vanta black. Pretty cool, isn't it? You know what? I could do a minion face with that. That could look like a minion right there. What is this song we're listening to, you guys? So right now we're seeing a kind of a lull in the action as far as qualifying goes. Everybody's trying to make up a couple tenths here and there. Well, it looks like Nicholas Dwyer, he's new out on track. We didn't see him. He must have joined a little bit late. Is up 3 tenths on their time, 2:01.1. Another driver out on track that has not put down a lap is Ramon Sanchez. So they may end up starting from the back, but we'll see if they make any improvements and move up. Dwyer, on the other hand, Nicholas Dwyer, up 3 tenths nearly, losing a little time down the straight. A couple tenth improvement wouldn't be a bad thing. You can move up into the top 15, gaining a little bit of time through the entry, losing on the exit, gaining a good amount into the entry of the hairpin. Up a little bit on the exit. Now he's got to just stay on the throttle the whole time. He's going to be up 2 tenths. 2 tenths should move him up at least 2, maybe 3 positions. Up into 13th for Dwyer. What a run there. While we were speaking, looks like Joe Allison is also up 3 tenths on their time. A 3/10 improvement from 9th place can move you up into the top 3. So we'll see what happens with Joe Allison. He comes around into the final section of the track now as well. A little bit of time loss on the way in. Drew Brooklands gaining almost a half a second. He can hold that. He will move up into nearly first place. Up 3 tenths, 3.5. It's going to move him from 9th. Staying tight on the inside, up into 3rd for Allison. Lots of new drivers all in that top 5 section. Great to see that. We still have a couple drivers still on track. Dwyer up 8 tenths on their time. 8 tenths will move them up into the top 5 as well. 7 tenths. He's through the halfway through the second sector of the track, as you can see on the track map there. He's got to finish this up. Up a half a second. He still has a lot of time that he can make up. Losing a little bit of time though. Up 8 tenths. It's not going to move him up into first, but it will move him into that top 5 position. Top 6 maybe. Lost a little bit of time through the loop. Down Wellington Straight. Into turn 16. Brooklands. Gained a whole second on his way in. A whole second up will move him into probably 3rd or 4th. 9 tenths up. It's not going to give him that top 3. Puts him in 4th place. Lots of new drivers up in those top positions. It's great to see. Now, once again, the start of this race, you can expect to see some bonks. Now, we don't want to see the bonks, but you can expect to see the bonks, okay? I've got a lot of drivers to go down. I'm probably not going to fly down the track and read them off. I will just read them off one by one, looking like this. Okay? We've got 33 drivers out on track. In first place, we got Adam Turai. That's so hard to say. Turai. And Manuel Ramirez in second place. Both Wreck-It Race team drivers. In third, one of the new drivers, Joe Allinson. In fourth, Nicholas Dwyer. Fifth, Hugo the 13th. Sixth, Joseph Liberato. Seventh, Jake Willems. Eighth, the returning Ryan Chanley. Ninth, Glenn Jacobs in that Noobs R Us Ferrari. 10th, Eric Metcalf. And 11th, we got Mirko Terrazas, and I think he's been around for quite a while too, a couple of seasons. 12th, the returning Douglas Furnish. 13th, Roderick Rudd, a returning driver as well. 14th, Wes Jones in that BSR Ferrari. 15th, Drew Freiberger in the Ford Mustang GT Racing Academy. 16th is Larry Foster. 17th, Mike Cook in the Wreck-It Race Team Porsche. 18th, Jeremy Knorr. That's hard to say. Knorr. Say that one out loud. No, say it. I can't hear you. Say it. Right. Moving on. Christopher Chan in 19th. 20th, R.L. Brown. 21, Jeremy Hayes, a new driver on track. 22nd, Garrick Bennett. 23rd, in that record race team, AMG C.W. Wells. And 24th, Russell Harrell, new driver out on track as well. Speaking of new drivers, 25th is Bill Dixon. 26th is Lizzie Alisea. Welcome back, Lizzie. 27th, Sean Bramer. 28th, Ian Guzzoni. 29th, Jordan Meredith. 30th, Bobby Harrell. Welcome back, Bobby. 31st, Luis Figueroa Sr. 32nd, Corey Schreiber, one of the new drivers here. 33rd, Ramon Sanchez. That is your lineup. 33 AM drivers out on track. They're about to start their outlap. Saying nor makes anyone sound like they're Australian saying no. Oh no. Have you seen the Twilight in Australian? Nice to see some 488s. Now keep in mind the 488s you see on track are probably likely due to these drivers not having the DLCs for these cars. So we got brand new drivers out on track. So they don't have the 296, you know. They have the 488. So 488's a great car. You should watch it, Tubbs. Go find the Twilight Australian. I know that they're on Facebook. I don't know where else they might be. Maybe TikTok. I don't know. All right, we're going to get that off screen because we don't need that anymore. I'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors. Noobs R Us is proudly sponsored by Track Titan, Coach Dave Academy, SimGrid, and that's pretty much it. We don't really have a lot of sponsors, to be honest. If you guys want to use Track Titan, we can offer you a 30-day trial. Pull that up, ! Sponsors. Use our code for a 30-day trial. 30% off your subscription as well. Circuit Core is our host, our server host. They are by far the least expensive server hosting we've ever used and extremely responsive as far as support goes. The people that are hosting through Circuit Core, they know how ACC works. They are ACC drivers, so they understand how it works and how it translates properly. Also, Coach Dave Academy, we don't get a percentage off, but if you want to support Noobs R Us, use the Coach Dave Academy link in the Discord. If you guys are curious at all about sim racing, ! SimGrid to join us. You can also join our Discord and talk. 33 drivers. Looks like some drivers are in the pits. That's fine. Looks like Schreiber. And who's number 10? Is that 10? Isn't that Glenn? Glenn Jacobs? What's he doing? Showing him in the pits, but I don't see him on screen. As the drivers go through Abbey, you can see them starting to warm up their tires, ziggy-zagging back and forth. Adam Turai is going to lead us off that inside line. Adam showing great improvement from last season to this one. I'd like to see him go into the pro split. With that said, how's everybody doing tonight? Thank you for joining. Hope you're doing well. Going to see 2 30-minute races, no pit stops. It's going to be nice, clear weather, optimum track conditions for our rookies. Race 1, 2 30-minute races. Next week will be race 2, also 2 30-minute races. Then week 3, we'll have our first pit stop with the AM drivers. New drivers will have to experience that. We'll have a workshop in our Discord. This is all completely free, by the way, for those drivers to attend and learn how to do a pit stop in ACC. It's not just how to enter and exit. There's the strategy and all of that as well. As we're coming through the third sector of the track into Brooklands now, the drivers are going side by side. You can see 157 way ahead. He's going to need to back up or he's going to get himself a penalty. They're using the in-game information to put their cars on track where they're supposed to be. Side by side. Long straight here, so anybody in the back has time to catch up, get into their correct position. Sanchez, our last car out on track right now. Looks like he's caught up, which is great. Go to the Helicam view for the race start. He's way on the inside. He's going to need to move to that outside position. Ramirez a little bit out of position there. They're moving up. There's definitely going to be deaths on this first corner, I promise you. We're at green light. It's Silverstone Race 1, Season 6, Noobs R Us. Fairly clean for most of the drivers out in front. Let's move to the middle of the pack, see what's going. Some drivers off. Moving back last quarter. In the back. Looks like a fairly clean first corner. Now we're getting to the tight first section. Maggots and Beckett's. We're going to see some awkwardness as we go through here. You can see one of the cars in the back, 2 cars spun in the back. Some drivers dropping down substantially, getting hit, doing a good job holding their brakes as they should be. Going to have to turn back around and fix themselves. Looks like we had a couple drivers spun, but that's okay. Nothing major, and it looks like everybody's following the rules as they should be. Looks like Emmanuel and Turai still side by side as they go in through Vale. That's a difficult sector as well. Let's move towards the center of the pack here. See some of the drivers going in there. And I got a couple other drivers that are way in the back. No, let's see what happened with him. We'll back it up 15 seconds as he entered into that section. Oh, you can see some people slipping and spinning. Looks like he saw that spun car. How did we go all the way back to the beginning? That was an awkward replay. I don't think that was accurate, you guys. Somehow it went back to the beginning of the lap. That's okay. We're still watching. Emmanuel in first place with Turai right behind. We're going to see a lot of racing start happening now. See some cars going really wide out there at Aintree. Lots of clean drive. Honestly, this is really clean driving for rookies. I'm ecstatic to see this amount of clean driving. I'm willing to bet that the AMS or the Pro split is a little bit less clean than this. Let's jump back to the back here a little bit. Got Meredith trying to hold off Gazzoni. He's on the outside of Lewfield. Able to hold it and get the speed, so he's able to stay ahead. Metcalf in the pits, it looks like. Had a return to pit moment. We're going to start seeing a good amount of splitting up now. Watch Phil Dixon. He's got some damage to the front end of that Porsche. Still holding it in this mid-group here. Lizzie, right on the tail of Figueroa Sr. Goes to the inside, cuts him off more or less. Gets around. Luckily no bonks have occurred. Liberato, you can see there. Gonna tuck to the inside. Is he gonna attempt the overtake? It looks like he's going to. They get side by side. And there's a bonk and a spin. Figueroa's off track. Liberato rejoining ahead. Figueroa sideways, now backwards on track. Another car backwards on track. Drivers have to try and flip themselves back around as best they can. Chan side by side with Sanchez. Chan on the inside. They go into Abbey. Not going to be able to keep up. May be able to get a run on the outside of Farm Curve. Looks like he has it into Village. Brakes a little bit earlier, but you can see he's going to be able to complete that overtake and get another overtake done on 997. But he's got to be able to get back on the inside of this next hairpin, hold those 2 positions he just gained. Looks like he's able to do so. Great driving by Christopher Chan. I'm going to move up to the top 3. See, Hugo and Allison fighting for that 3rd place position. Hugo on the inside as they go into turn 1. Allison tucking in right behind, trying to get the get to the next corner, but unfortunately he's going to be on the outside on this next corner as well. He's going to have to tuck back in. There's a little bit of time as he does it. Allison, I wonder what his livery looks like. He needs to upload it so we can see it. Oh, no, wait. Is that a livery? That's a full-on actual livery, I think. I'm going to run back to Chan. So he's now right on the tail of Harral in his damaged Ferrari. Harral, Brown, Sanchez back there. Looks like Sanchez got into a spin too. To see if we can back that up a second here. Like he went wide. Yeah, that's what happened. Wide into Beckett's. Spun around. Holding his brakes. Good job coming off the track. Luckily, he didn't hit that car as he was sliding backwards. Comes off the track the rest of the way. Good job. Want to go back to Harral and Chan. They go through Vale now, side by side. Chan's got that inside line. Or Harral does, rather, and is able to hold that position. Chan has Brown right behind as well. All of these drivers fight for that 17th place position, all within 0.2 seconds of each other. You can see Harral staying on that inside line as they go through Abbey. Little bump there. The way out by Chan. Not going to tuck in. Oh my gosh, what a send from Brown. An attempted overtake. He's going to stay tight on that. There could have been death involved, but he's staying ahead of all of that. That was wild. I can't believe that worked without killing people. My goodness. Take a quick look up in first place here. Adam Turai. A second and a half, or 1.2 seconds ahead of Ramirez. But I want to point out something else here, guys. Look at Douglas Furnish. Up 9 positions from where he started. In third place. And he's got clear air all around him. So all he's got to do is stay clean and stay ahead. Yeah, 159 is quick for an AM. You're right. And that's why I'm saying I don't know how long these guys are going to stay in that AM split. Hugo, right on the tail of Foster ahead. Larry Foster. You see Larry staying on the inside on the way out of the corner. As the drivers go down Hanger Straight towards Stowe. Both drivers, oh my goodness, what an overtake attempt there from Hugo, and it was completed. Moves to the outside and right back to the inside for the overtake. What an awesome overtake. That was a great job. You don't even see that in most of the pro races. Enough to Mirko Terrazas. You see a driver off track there, and that, I believe that's Chanley moving to the inside. There's a 3-wide situation occurring here. Back out of it. Looks like it's just a 2-wide. And it's been an awesome race so far. Roderick Rudd trying to get in on some of that action as well. You can see the cars kind of all over the place as they go into Village. Now at the loop. This is usually where I get spun, is the loop. Somebody on the inside or outside will end up hitting me. Looking a little bit further back, we got Wes Jones on the tail of Allison. Lots of awesome driving for all these drivers, especially for 33 drivers out on track. This is not something you see very often. I mean, there's a lot of bonks, don't get me wrong, but it's not major pileup style bonks. But Silverstone's pretty good for that. Let's see. Wes Jones pulling away from that. Roderick Rudd and Mike Cook, is that who I'm looking at? Yeah, Mike Cook. Mike Cook on the inside as these drivers go towards the start-finish line in turn 1. Mike Cook can lead this. Roderick Rudd in trail. Between 7th and 13th place, everybody is within a second of the driver ahead of them. Drew Freiberger trying to get on the inside of Glenn Jacobs. No overtake completed there. Both those drivers doing an awesome job staying safe around each other. Looks like we got CW Wells had an issue. Let's back it up and see what happened here. Looks like he just spun on the way out of turn 1. Didn't look like he hit anybody. Now he's got to figure out how to turn around. There he goes. Good job on the turnaround. He just continues right back out of pit lane. Good, safe place to rejoin. You can see Liberato and Brown. Brown's going to stay tight on the inside. Liberato's going to go hard on the outside. They go into Stowe. Eldorado in that Lexus, losing a little bit of time. Going to try and gain that time back into the braking zone. From Vale, ends up hitting Brown, sliding across the track, jumping over the sausage curb. Oh my gosh. Did you see that? He was in the air. I didn't know we were playing Flight Simulator. Lots of cars around each other up here in that 7th place section between 7th and 9th here. Cars side by side, Larry Foster and Joe Allison fighting for that 6th place position. Allison on the inside, down Wellington Straight. Able to complete the overtake and stay there. You can see that Chanley's also trying to get to the inside, but he's going to be on the outside through left field. Brooklyn's in left field. Going to have to tighten that turn in. He's not able to get the overtake done. He's going to hope he's got enough speed to pass down the straight. Still 1/10 away. Is he going to tuck to the inside as they go into turn 1? He's not going to. Misses his braking point, slides a little bit, goes off track. Going to try and rejoin on the outside. Probably going to take a time penalty for that. Not a time penalty, but a off-track penalty. Wes Jones is now side by side with that as well. Let's move down some. Take a look at one of our newcomers. We got Woolams. As they go through Brooklands side by side. Woolams trying to get an overtake completed on Ian Gazzoni. Say Ian really tight on the inside. He's going to stay to that inside. He doesn't really have much place to go. He can move to the outside a little bit. It looks like both these drivers are... Ooh, this is dangerous. Ooh. I saw that and thought we were going to see death. Drizenthal in chat. Hello, Driz. Good to see you, buddy. Overtake completed. Let's move back up to the middle of this pack here. Some of these drivers, all 4 of these drivers, you can see Garrick Bennett trying to stay on the inside and keep that Porsche on the outside. However, you can see that Porsche getting slippy. He's going to lose a position because of it. Nah, he's not going to lose it. He's on the defensive portion here now to that McLaren ahead. The McLaren's going to try and set it on the inside. Does send it. Doesn't hit him. No positions gained or lost. Luckily, no major death occurred in that situation as well. Could have been very bad. We're seeing a point in the race now where a lot of drivers are starting to split up. The top 7 drivers are all outside of a second of each other. Glenn Jacobs trying to catch back up to Drew Freiberger ahead. 0.5 seconds. Drew trying to catch up to his teammate Mike Cook ahead. He's losing a little bit of time. Mike Cook is losing time rather to Roger Guerrero ahead of him. So this split, these 3 drivers from 10th to 12th are all outside of the draft of that group ahead. But as long as Chanley, Jones, and Rudd start battling, 10th, 11th, and 12th could get back in contention for that top 7 position. I'm going to jump down to Jeremy Knorr on the tail of CW Wells. You can see a little bit of glitching. Looks like he might be having internet issues. Hopefully that doesn't affect his driving or anybody else around him as well. We're approaching the halfway point on this race. Just want to point out Adam Turai and Manuel Ramirez in their respective positions from where they qualified, with a good gap between first and second. You can see Ramirez trying to get past some back markers as we're talking. 2 seconds. Oh, wow, we said that Turai just crashed. What just happened? I'm going to back this up. I want to see what happened. Looks like he was all alone. That is extremely unfortunate for him. What happened? He hit his... I don't even know what happened. That looked like a controller disconnect or something. Turai. It's just still sitting there. Able to start driving after losing 12 positions. Hopefully his second race goes better than that. That is extremely unfortunate. So Ramirez is now the leader of our race, with Douglas Furnish in second, up 10 positions from where he qualified. Hugo, the 13th, is in third place, up 2 positions before he started, whereas Joe Allison in fourth is now out of that podium position, down 1 position. Larry Foster, another one of our newcomers, up 11 positions. We're seeing a lot of major position gain This is something that new drivers are going to come to realize is you don't have to be the fastest driver to gain a lot of positions. So you just got to be one of the safest drivers. Adam Toure in the pits. Must have blown a tire or something. Maybe his muffler bearing fell off. Wes Jones, speaking of issues, spun out in turn 1, trying to rejoin the track. He's got Glenn Jacobs coming up behind. Going to try and complete the overtake as they go into that first sector. Glenn, one of our more improved drivers. I love seeing him out there and seeing him drive these cars like he owns them. Chan racing Brown for that 13th position. Losing a little bit of time in through that first sector. You can see him slipping. But he actually gained a little bit of that time back. They're going to be nose. What am I trying to say? Nose, tail, nose. Nut to butt as they go down, hanger straight. He's going to try and keep Brown on the inside. Brown is really narrow there, so he's going to lose a lot of time. Chan's going to try and gain that time. He gets a little bit slippy once again on the outside of that corner as these drivers go in through Vale. No major time gain or loss there. Got a position change here from Wells and Knorr. Knorr has moved up into 16th. I'll go back to Chan and Brown. Chan trying to tuck on the inside again. Not able to do it. He goes through Abbey into farm curve. Still right on his tail to see if he moves to the inside. So he goes to Village. Nope, Brown's going to be defensive. Not really a great place to be too defensive, but it's not really a terrible place either because if you stay on the inside of those corners, you pretty much own them. However, if that driver gets a better run on the exit, you can see a car's completely backwards there. The exit of the loop. Chan try and get a little bit of draft down Wellington straight. Not going to tuck his nose in. Getting ready to go into Brooklands. No major time gained. He just needs to keep his head down. And we may see an overtake down in the next lap or so. Ryan Chanley, 6th place, right on the heels of Larry Foster. Larry, once again, is up 11 positions, so his overall pace is not as good as Ryan Chanley. But he's been safer, so we may see a battle go on between these two drivers for that 5th place position. Both those drivers just going to stay nice and safe as they go into the chicane. On the way out, see if that Aston will have any extra speed. See a Porsche tucking hard to the inside there. I think that's a back marker is who that is. Chanley just trying to gain as much time as he can. He's not going to gain a lot. See how he does through the village. In the loop. A little bit of a better run on the way out, but it's not going to be enough to help him. I'm going to jump all the way to the back here with Jeremy Hayes and Garrick Bennett fighting for that 19th position. You can see there's both these drivers just tucking in behind each other. They go into Abbey. Nothing major going on there. Jake Woolam's in trail of that group on the tail of Joseph Liberato. Joseph going wide. Looks like he messed up the exit of that turn. Jake's going to get the overtake completed because of it. Back up to Chanley and Foster. Chanley right on the tail as they go in through turn 1. Losing a little bit of time. It looks like his sector is not sector 1. Chanley can usually gain a little bit of time down hanger straight out of Chapel. See if he's able to do it again. Coming out, 2/10 behind. Larry Foster staying on that inside, more middle of the track at this point. Going into the braking zone. You can see that Lexus slipping a little bit. Not losing a lot of time because of it though. Just a little bit extra slip angle. Chanley Gonna try and put it on the inside. A little bit of a bonk. They're side by side through Brooklands. Larry's gonna get that position back. Attempted overtake by Chanley, just unfortunately wasn't it. There's a car spun around back. It looks like CW Wells spun backwards, unfortunately. So all the way to the back 26th place with Jordan Meredith as he tries to catch up to Ian Guzzoni. In through the first sector, Maggots and Beckett's. That car right there is pretty damaged up. Guzzoni is slipping and sliding. Completely sideways on track. Needs to get moving. There he goes. That was almost dangerous. Meredith's going to get a freebie because of that. Jake Willems. You can see him in the back there. And he tries to get on the tail of Bennett. I like that purple one. It's almost like a Day to Remember look to it. You guys ever seen that soundtrack? That cover? Not soundtrack, the cover of their album. Kind of what it reminds me of. Looks like he's going to get a little bit side by side as they come out of the loop. Not enough to get an overtake done. Going wide on the exit. Willems tucks to the inside. Down the straight. Overtake's completed. However, I was going to say, Garrick looked like he was going to tuck back in, but he's lost a good amount of time and is not going to gain. Willems completed overtake and going to run away with it. Sanchez on the tail of Terrazas. Goes really wide because he doesn't want to hit him. Side by side down the front straight into turn one. Terrazas has that position currently. He's got to tuck back in. You don't want to lose too much time through this sector. The best place to gain a position is out of that sector. That was a glitch right there if I've ever seen one from Sanchez. Terrazas still trying to hold that position in his Porsche. Sanchez trying to gain that time down the straight. He's going to have the draft, but not going to tuck in. He's just going to stay on the inside. Does have the better run, though, as he disappears. That is a nerve-wracking thing. You want to just make sure you give that position in case he's there. We don't know where he's at. He disappeared off the face of the earth. At this point, I would just imagine that he's not there and he's gone. I wouldn't even want to race. Eric Bennett sending it to the inside. What a wonderful overtake by Mr. Bennett on Liberato. Moving up, Roderick Rudd side by side with Chanley. Both these drivers going through left field. That BMW should have tucked his nose in behind and try and get a better run. Blind attack from Initial D. That's just one of those nerve-wracking moments where you just go, okay, I'm going to imagine you don't exist anymore. It's just, that's not something you want to see. Liberato and Bennett still going at it. Bonking! That Ferrari's now off track behind. Bennett's got some time to gain. That may be a reportable offense. Christopher Chan running down the front straight. Got Brown ahead of him. He's going to poke his nose in, but he's not going to be able to complete an overtake. T. Cook, 10-10. Thank you for the follow. Your VR headset randomly disconnected. You had to restart because you had 0 frames. Who are you? I'm not going to say your name. Is it just the finger? Oh, hi, Adam. Turai, right? Yeah, we saw that. That was extremely unfortunate. Jake Willems still trying to catch up. Got around Liberato last lap. He's on the tail of Hayes now. Well, hopefully you're able to restart and your next race will be better, Adam. Unfortunately, we're not going to be watching your next race. We'll be watching the pro split. Last 6 minutes of this race. Chilling in the pits. I feel you, ma'am. Roderick Rudd, jump ahead. Roderick Rudd and Chanley still going at it. Roderick Rudd trying to get that overtake done. Not able to get up next to him. He was for a moment. He had a car off track at the top there. Freiberger. Was that Freiberger had an issue or was that Jones? Freiberger had an issue. Lost a lot of time. Must have went wide on that exit. Chanley spun around. Let's back this up just a second here. They're coming around the final corner. He was all alone. Nobody around him. On the throttle, nice and easy. Just hits the grass and spins. Chanley's been fighting his whole time to get back up. And now he just lost it. Extremely unfortunate for Chanley. Willems, side by side with Hayes. So they go down Wellington straight. Hitting each other. Oh my God, that was a 3-wide bonk. 3 cars involved in that. And there's a car spun ahead. Everybody needs to slow down. Yellow flag, slow down. Oh my goodness. That was wild. Yeah, it looks like AM Racing. Yes, it does. We're back in it. More cars still trying to rejoin. That was unfortunate. Holy moly. I want to point out that Glenn Jacobs is up in 8th place. He's up a position from where he started, doing a great job staying out of the box, continuing to make improvements as he drives. Glenn Jacobs on the tail of Chanley. However, with how Chanley was driving, I don't know if Glenn's going to be able to get an overtake done. Unless there's damage to that Aston. But it's got to be an Aston of damage. David! Senor David. Hello. Thank you for the resub. 11-month streak. That's what I'm talking about. Need to pass Andrew. We'll pass him. Driz, the only thing you react to is me saying Aston. Oh my gosh, there's a car off track. Is they going through the loop? It looks like Glenn may actually have a chance to overtake. Gaining some time as they've gone around this track. Glenn, he's kind of chilling. I want to see him try and overtake. The only reason why you went out. You're not last. That's what I'm talking about. Well, I'll be in to watch the pro race here shortly. I don't know how much time is left in the pro race. We got 3 minutes left in the AM race. You messed up, Senor David. Looks like Glenn Jacobs losing a little bit of time. We're going to move back up to Rudd and Foster. Rudd is trying to get that 4th place position off of Larry Foster. Rudd up 8 positions from where he qualified, and Larry up 12. So there is potential for Rudd to be faster than Larry. Just a matter of consistency and racecraft at this point. Last lap by Rudd was 2:06. Last lap by Foster 2:01.0. So we may see. I'm sorry, take that back. 2:02 for Larry Foster and 2 flat for Rudd. So we may see an overtake opportunity from Rudd. This lap, as they're going through the weirdest bus stop chicane right-hand corner I've ever seen into Abbey. You can see Rudd getting a great run through that corner into Farm Curve. Larry going to be defensive. Rudd turning in, almost hitting him. Trying to get that inside line. He's going to stay on the inside, trying to outbrake. Side by side as they go through the loop. Rudd got the better run on the way out. Got to cut that corner and not hit anything. Larry going wide, going to lose that time. What an overtake by Rudd. Great driving from these AM drivers. No bonks, nothing. We're on the final lap from the lead driver. That would be Ramirez and Manuel. Up 10 seconds from second place. Just working his way through back markers. Doug Furnish as well. Up 5 seconds from third. Same kind of thing, just trying to stay safe. Allison in third, up 7 seconds from fourth. Rudd and Larry were racing. Rudd is now up and up nearly 7 tenths. 8 tenths now. Sixth place would be Hugo the 13th. Then Ryan Chanley, who had a pit stop, of all things, in 7th. Can you imagine that? What it says, pit stop, lap 12, 1.3 seconds. I don't know what that was. I don't know what that means. I don't know. That's what it says, pit stop. I don't think he actually pitted, you guys. Glenn Jacobs in 8th. trying to just run away from Mike Cook behind both these Wreck-It Race Team drivers, and then Drew Freiberger, Wreck-It Race Team, in trail of them. 5 seconds in trail with all that damage to the front of his car. Also driving for the GT Racing Academy. Great to see him continue to improve. That rounds out your top 10 currently. Anything can happen. However, we still have a battle yet. The only battle on track. I take that back. We got another battle. We got Brown and Woolams. These two drivers trying to fight for their position ahead. Woolams in trail of Phil Dixon. Woolams down 9 positions, so he's got the pace to catch back up to Phil ahead as they go through Maggots and Beckett's. They're ready to come out onto Chapel. Down the hanger straight. You can see they're side by side now. Dixon actually went wide and lost that position. There's another car off. Woolams up into 15th. Probably going to hold that position. We'll have to see. Brown trying to gain a little bit of time as they go through the weirdest chicane bus stop I've ever seen. That's what I'm going to call that corner. Not really going to gain any extra time there. Our winning driver, Emmanuel Ramirez. Congratulations, Emmanuel. Doug Furnish in second place, crossing the finish line. Good job. Welcome back, Doug. Good place to be. Third place. We'll see how long you stay there. Or second place. Third place is Joe Allenson. Great to see a new driver up in the top 3 as well. Roderick Rudd, one of our returning drivers, up in 4th. Larry Foster, another new guy out on track, up in 5th. Hugo, the 13th, in 6th. Ryan Chanley getting ready to cross that finish line in 7th. Still up a position from where he qualified. There's still another race yet for these guys. Glenn Jacobs in 8th. Mike Cook in 9th. Drew Freiberger in 10th. That'll round out your top 10 for the AM drivers. We're going to let these guys move on to their next race. And I'm going to move us over to the pro split. Let me get the music back going, you guys. Get some music going. And we'll get us moved over, shall we? We're going to take a quick intermediate break here as these drivers finish up their race as well. Looks like the pros are just finishing, coming across the finish line as well. We're going to take a quick break. I'll come back out on track as these drivers are starting to drive. And I'm going to grab a drink. You guys grab a drink as well, okay? Grab something good, you know what I'm saying? Be right back. All right, I am back. Looks like we got a driver just driving around for no reason. But, yeah, hello, welcome. Hello. Summit Slider, that was rough. Oh, no noodles! Shouting out David. Speaking of noodles, we went to this sushi restaurant tonight, and it was freaking good. I don't normally like sushi, but tonight was just, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna pull it up, but we're just waiting on the server to progress. So, as usual, the pro server has an issue, and they've got to sit and do nothing. So pro on tap in your basement. I don't normally drink. I have maybe one drink a month, but I got a local IPA, and it's so good. You drink? Yes, we know you drink. My sim rig is one of the fold-up ones, so I just move it out of the way and sit at my desk normally. So pro coded. Stand by. We're waiting on the race to progress as usual. Lots of chat going on in the Discord, which is good. Exclamation point SimGrid or sponsors to find the link to our Discord. Now that we are progressing, I'm going to switch this over and get you guys seeing some information on screen, huh? Sound good? All right. We are in the pro split. Now this split is a, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a courtesy split for our drivers. This split is currently filled with only the pros and pro-ams. Everybody's going to show the same split right now. However, after tonight's race, these drivers will be split into pros and pro-ams properly. Right now, everybody's just going to show bronze. That's fine. But it looks like our driver lineup for tonight for race 2 of the pro split: Zach Schneider in P1, Darren Thomas in P2, Kevin Rivera in P3, Justin Griswold in P4, Austin Gerber in P5, Nick Kanya P6, Casey Swanseeger P7, Simon Tonkin P8, Matt Russo P9, Steve Poe P10, Devin Anthony P11, Andrew Casey P12, David Alesea P13. Good to see you racing again, David. Tony Danzig way in the back in 14. Tyler Trimble, a new driver out on track in P15. And Nico Menendez in P16. Cristo Ray, thank you for the follow. Hello. Hola, Lizzie. Great race, by the way. Great seeing you out on track. The rig is always set up. Even play COD in your bucket seat. I just have a regular Secret Lab gaming chair. I preferred it that way because I did flight sim and that kind of thing too. So these drivers about to go out and start their out lap. But great to see all of these drivers on track. It's great to see this many in the pro split as well. The pro split is going to gain people as we go because we're going to be moving people out of the AMs into pros. So we're going to see the pros and AMs become more even as we progress throughout the season. We did have a total of 60-something signups. A lot of people didn't show up. That's normal. So we got about 50-ish signed up and showed up. We're on the final 30 seconds of sitting out on grid. Excited to see what these drivers can do. We're going to see more bonks than the AMs with less drivers because these guys are going to try and send it in places they shouldn't be. I just want to put out that there is prizes for the top 3 AM split drivers at the end of the season. The pro drivers do not get a prize. They do if they are drivers in the intermediate do. So the intermediate series does have a prize. I know I saw Tony Danzig say something about starting an OnlyFans. Just watch him on Twitch for free. I've already seen enough Tony Danzig naked. I don't need to see it anymore when we went to Indy. Tony's one of my favorite people in the Noobs Rose community. He didn't think he would belong. Then he jumped in and this is right where he's supposed to be. So the AMs have probably already started their race, whereas we're just now starting the outlap for these pro drivers. There's a delay in the startup. So I do not have a calendar for this next season. However, if you guys are curious about what next week's race is, you can find all that on SimGrid, !SimGrid. Once again, we are sponsored by Track Titan, Coach Dave Academy, SimGrid themselves, and we use Circuit Core as our server hosting. Awesome server hosts, inexpensive, good support. They're great. Track Titan and Coach Dave Academy both will read your in-game telemetry and give you pointers how to improve. They also have setups for your cars. If you don't know how to make a setup, they'll give you those. Track Titan, I believe, has videos you can watch, like on lap or what am I trying? Hot lap videos. You can watch those. And if you guys like Legos, we have Lego livery or Lego sponsors on our cars. And we're not sponsored by Lego, but we have them on our cars. We're also sister teams with BSR. That is, I believe the principal driver for that is Chase Jones. You just saw his dad in the BSR car in the AM split. That's Wes Jones. They're an esports team. And we have GT Racing Academy. That is our where we take junior drivers. We put them into the academy so they can improve before they come over to Noobs or Us as a works driver. Another team within our community is Wreck-It Race Team. It's just a fun little group within our community. They just get together. They work together to improve. There's no strict schedule or anything for those guys. They're not obligated to do anything other than hang out and relax. DRM Crasher, thank you for the follow. Welcome. I want to get this music hushed up as we get ready to start our second race of the AMS or the GT3 Rookie Series. This is the Pro split, Pro and Pro Am split. Each driver is going to show in the same split this time around so we can determine who's going to be in that Pro split. So once again, this split here is solely a courtesy. These drivers are too fast to be considered AMs. We have this split so that they have a place to race if they want to. As we're coming out of Wellington Straight towards Brooklands and Lewfield, the drivers are going side by side for the start of the race. See those 3 stripes on Zach Schneider's Mustang. We're getting 3 podiums under the Noobs R Us name. Eventually, we're going to get to 4 stripes, and you're not going to see any more than 4. However, the colors will start changing, and that'll be neat. All right, as we go towards Woodcote and the start-finish line, I am going to take a drink of my IPA so that I may burp in your ears. Delicious. I go to Helicam for the start of the race.
Green light, go, go, go.
See Zach immediately going to the outside. Got a great run on that. You can see behind Kevin Rivera a bit of bonk of Griswold and Gerber in the back as well. Moving a little bit further back. Everybody else side by side, but fairly safe. Nothing major coming to that. Up in the front, Zach's running away. Those top 5 drivers all doing good. Side by side action between Tonkin and Devin Anthony as they go through Maggots and Beckett's. Devin staying tight on the inside there. Lots of Noobs R Us cars in the back. Andrew Casey trying to get around everybody as well. All those drivers are going to start pulling away. We're going to move right up to the front. Darren Thomas not driving a Noobs R Us livery for some reason. He should be. Losing a little bit of time to Zach Schneider ahead, but he's going to try and gain it into the braking zone. Zach will be gone for the whole race. Yeah, you're right. Zach just runs away. I'm surprised he's stayed with our community without having to actually race anybody. Let's move to 5th place. We got multiple side-by-side action going on here. Potential for a 3-wide. Griswold trying to get the overtake done. Oh, we got a spun carve. Casey Swanseeger. Gonna have to try and rejoin back there. Another couple cars side by side in the back. That is Devin Anthony and Matt Russo. Both in the Noobs R Us cars. You see Poe and Gerber going at it as well as they're side by side coming through Aintree down Wellington Straight. Oh my gosh! Did you guys see Devin Anthony just now? Let's back that up. I don't want to see what happened here. Devin Anthony on the way out. Hits the curb. Goes to the outside. Just enough to make him spin. My goodness. What a slide. Well, he's going to have some catching up to do. Him and Casey both. Actually, Casey's already caught back up to David. Getting around him and just going. David just giving it up. That's what David does. He always gives it up. I mean, what? Griswold trying to catch up to Kanya ahead. Fighting for that 4th place position. Kanya has fallen off of Kevin Rivera. Kevin Rivera is just inside of a second, around a second behind Darren Thomas. And Darren trying to stay within that second of Zach Schneider ahead. These guys, these three, are going to be fighting to just stay here. So it's going to be so hard to catch up to each other. Once they start catching up to a couple back markers, they may end up catching up, but it's going to be quite wild until then. See Gerber trying to tuck it in into Stowe. Not able to make an overtake happen, but Matt Russo's got a run on the way out. Through Vale. Not going to go side by side. You can see a couple cars side by side back here. Looks like Tonkin in the mix of a bunch of Noobs R Us cars. Simon Tonkin, one of the fastest drivers in the middle of the pack this time around. I wonder what happened to Nico. Nico's back here. I don't think he qualified. I think he did a deliberate last to first challenge for himself is what he's doing. Because he's in a car that he's not comfortable with. You can see 3 wide almost about to happen. As Casey Swansiger sends it to the inside of Nico. Nico's going to stay tight on the corner on the exit. A little bit wide on the exit of the loop. Into Aintree. Got Simon Tonkin losing some positions. Casey Swansiger tucking in. He might go into the inside. Is he going to do it? He's not. But he's got Tonkin on the inside. Tonkin's going to be able to get around. Both these drivers in similar cars. And Andrew Casey in the mix of that too. Andrew Casey not comfortable in his Porsche. He was messaging me prior to the race how uncomfortable he's feeling in that Porsche. I am as well. I'm driving it for the intermediate. Jumping all the way back up towards the front. Griswold still trying to catch up to Kanya. The top 4 drivers are all outside of a second. So unless one of them makes a mistake, there's going to be no catching up. Well, while I say that, looks like Darren Thomas just made a mistake. Kevin is now on his tail. They come out of Chapel. Down Hanger Straight. Kevin right on his tail. They go into Stowe. Tucking it in, not gaining a lot of time. I'm going to jump back to Griswold. Griswold was up just a moment ago. Kevin's now falling off. I want to keep watching this battle between Kevin and Darren. Kevin has been here since the beginning, the formation of the Noobs R Us community, and he's done an awesome job helping us become what we have become and running our Instagram and other media outlets. So thank you, Kevin. We love you. Griswold's still trying to gain that time on Kanya. Not gaining enough. Nick Kanya trying to run away. A bit of time lost there. I'm going to jump all the way back to Tonkin as he's now on the tail of Tony Danzig. Tony up 4 positions from where he qualified. Simon down 3. So the pace difference is a little bit... Oh, you can see Tony off. Tony's going to rejoin the exit of the loop. Both the drivers are going to be side by side as they get ready to go into Aintree. Doing a good job not hitting each other. Casey Swansiger in the mix again. Casey has been in the battle no matter what it is. You can see Casey trying to go to the inside. Tony able to complete it. Tony bonks him a little bit. Casey spins a little bit. Nothing major. Casey back on the inside. Tony, I think, is going to give that back to him. I'm not sure. That could have been extremely dangerous. Good job, Tony and Casey, not making that too difficult on each other. Trimble, one of the newcomers, Tyler Trimble. I like that livery. It's really cool. kind of in the mix of all the noobs or S drivers, so he's gonna see the bonks that go on and go, I don't like you guys, and I understand. I don't like us either. I love us. Tyler making his way up the pack. He's up 3 positions from where he started. Hopefully we can see him continue to make up those positions. I'm going to jump all the way back up to the front once again. Kevin Rivera trying to gain that time on Darren Thomas, losing a little bit as they go through Vale. Trying to outbrake him into the hairpin. I'm sorry, the chicane. Gaining a little bit of time through the chicane. Not going to gain it on the exit. Losing some time on the way out. Next couple drivers, Justin Griswold and Kanya. Once again, Griswold gaining that time. This seems to be the sector of the track where he's able to gain the most amount of time. You can see him tuck in a little bit. Not going to go for the overtake, but just trying to throw Kanya off. Might have worked. Kanya lost a little bit of time through there. Not enough for Griswold to catch back up. This is where Griswold falls off. We'll see next lap where he's at. Gerber trying to catch up to Poe. Lots of space between... That's a cool Petronas livery, by the way. Lots of space between Gerber and Poe as well. You see him trying to tuck in and get as much of that draft as he can. Both of these cars, similar performance. You're not going to see a lot of difference down the straights. Between 7th and 13th, there's a 1 second gap between everybody. Andrew Casey's on the tail of Trimble still. Andrew, once again, said he was not comfortable in that car. Trying to just gain as many positions as he can. He's actually down a position from where he started. Looking down towards the back, David Alicea on the tail of Tony Danzig. Tony, also in a car he's not comfortable in that Lexus. So you're going to see some of us much further in the back because we're driving cars that we're not used to. Zach doing 57s in racetrack. Yep. Zach is a beast. 4 seconds ahead of that second place position of Darren Thomas. And he's just running away. That's what he does. Kevin Rivera still within that half-second range of Darren Thomas, trying to close it up. Last lap for Kevin was a 58.4, whereas Darren Thomas a 58.7. So that time is being gained. Last lap for Kevin was his best lap. Darren's best lap was a 58.2. So if Darren can continue to do 58.2s, there's no way that Kevin's going to catch. But there's no way that Darren is going to catch Zach being 5 seconds off and slow, much slower, like almost a whole second slower per lap. Zach is an animal. Zach is our esports team principal. We do have an esports team in the works right now. So he's our team principal. I can't get on that team. I am extremely slow, but happy to have him here. Happy to see him doing what he's doing. He's putting in great work. Nico Menendez making up positions. He's liking the Ford. Good. I'm glad he's liking it. Take another drink of my beer. Nico gaining a little bit of time down the straight on Matt Russo. That Lamborghini is going to have the top speed over that Porsche down the straights. That Porsche will be able to outturn the Lamborghini. We'll see what happens. Gaining a little bit of time on the way out. See that acceleration. He's going extremely wide there. Touches the dirt a little bit. Trying to tuck back in. Get a little bit of draft again. Looks like Nico's using just a little bit more of the track than Matt. So may see an overtake occur between them. See, once again, Nico way on the outside to try and gain as much speed as he can. He's now closing that gap ahead as they go through Maggots and Beckett's. Look how fast these cars can just whip left and right. You know about the esports team, James. Look at that. Nico right on Matt's rear end. Matt's going to stay on the inside. Going to force Nico to go on the outside, but Nico's going to stay in the center of the track to try and cause him to stay very narrow. Able to complete the overtake on the way out. Matt's just going to concede that position. Sorry about that. Had to mute for just a moment. Matt's going to have to try and fight to get back in front of Matt. It's a hard battle to win. Nico up 10 positions from where he started. Moving a little bit further down the back. Gerber, 8/10 behind Tonkin. Tonkin's best lap was a 2:01, whereas Gerber's was a 1:59. However, Gerber had a messed up. His lap and Poe behind were both 2:06, 2:07. So we're seeing some awkwardness from these drivers in 9th and 10th place. However, I do expect to see Gerber catch back up and pass Tonkin within a lap or two. Nico doing what he does best, running people down. See, that's why I liked driving the Ford with Nico, especially at Laguna, is he could catch up to me. He just couldn't beat me down the straights because that Ford is just so fast down the straights. So, like I said, Gerber's going to close that gap. You see Tonkin going a little bit wide on the exit there. As they go into Brooklands now, Gerber's going to close up that gap just a little bit more. Well within the slipstream range as they go down the front straight. For Woodcote. Passing start-finish line. We're approaching the midpoint of our race. 17 minutes remaining. Roughly 7.5 more laps left. And probably 8 laps. You can see Tonkin staying narrow as they're getting ready to go in through Maggins and Beckett's. Don't need to do that. Gerber will tuck back in. He knows that this is not a good place to try and overtake. He's just going to try and get the better run on the exit. He's lost a little bit of time through Maggins and Beckett, so he's got to really get a good run on the exit. Not amazing. Looks like they're on equal pace here as they go down the back straight. Gerber's just going to stay in that slipstream and hope Poe doesn't catch back up. Everybody behind is now outside of a second of each other except for Poe. Stephen Poe is caught back up to this group of 3 here. So all Tonkin's doing is hoping that Gerber is going to get held up by Poe. And Gerber is hoping that he can get around Tonkin before the end, before Poe actually catches up. So these guys have a lot going on in their heads as they're racing. Yeah, the Mustang is awesome. I'm driving the Porsche for the intermediate series, and I like the Porsche because I drove it for the Nords race that me and Swanseger did, but I am just not used to it after driving the Mustang. It is a completely different animal. Gerber. Looks like Gerber's strong sector is that second sector. So he may be able to get an overtake done on Tonkin through there. And side by side. Nope, he's not going to be able to do it. Gerber's going to send it to the inside. Tonkin's going to the outside. Tucking back out. It's a mind game between these drivers right now. Gerber really wants that position, but all he's trying to do is get Tonkin to make a mistake. And if there's something we know about Tonkin, he's good at doing the Tonkin bonking, okay? Porsche doesn't like you. Doesn't like me either. But while these two have been trying to catch up to each other, Stephen Poe behind has caught up to them. So like I said, Tonkin is now watching Poe and hoping that Poe will try and make a move on Gerber. If he does, then Tonkin has the ability to try and run away. The battles on track have now separated. Looks like Griswold is trying to catch up to Kanya still. Still right around that 0.5 second range. That is our only other battle on track. Let's move back to Gerber, Tonkin, and have a drink of beer. Beer is good. Beer is good. It are go good with pizza. Gerber. This is his strong sector, like we discussed, but he is now a half second behind Tonkin and has Poe behind, so he's got a lot going on in his mind. He doesn't want Poe to try and do an overtake. Now, if Gerber's feeling like he's not able to catch up to Tonkin, right when I say that, they're starting to go side by side. Tonkin made a mistake on the exit. Side by side, Gerber's going to be able to complete the overtake. I take that back. Staying a little bit side by side. There we go. Overtake's complete. Gerber's going to try and run away. Tonkin and Poe. Tonkin lost 2 positions in that whole situation in fear of hitting Poe, I think, as they went through Farm Curve. But now, with that said, Gerber has started to run away. Poe is 0.7 seconds in trail. Tonkin, 0.6. Casey Swanseger's now in the mix, everybody. There's a new contender for top 10. Casey Swanseger down 4 positions from where he qualified. Menendez up 10. Andrew Casey looks like he did a pit. Andrew's in the pits. Tony Danzig's in the pits. They must just be sitting in chat, relaxing. Thank you for the resub. I think this is that support button, right? Yes, it is. I don't know if you guys watched. I don't know if there was an advertisement. There's supposed to be an advertisement during this stream, like an ad break. That was something I was supposed to have seen. I never saw it. So if you guys saw that, please let me know, and I'll try and figure out how to. You had one mid break, okay. I have to figure out how to move that around and play it when I want to play it. So I've got to figure that out for next stream. Didn't think about that until just now. Talking. Still trying to gain on Poe. Makes a mistake. Swanseeger's now in the mix. Right on his tail as they go through Vale. He didn't feel like watching it. That's fine. I understand. Swanseeger trying to hold that position as he's about to run a little bit wide there. Tonkin goes around the outside. Completes the overtake back. The front, Kevin Rivera has closed the gap again to Darren Thomas, but not enough to complete an overtake. Darren, so consistent. It's hard for him to catch up. Darren's last lap was a 58.9, whereas Kevin's last lap was a 59.412. Invalid 412 as well. But nonetheless, in the .4s. So good job there. Casey still trying to catch up to Tonkin. Similar car, similar performance differences driving, and however they set up their car. These two drivers, very good, very consistent. And Casey, whenever I race against him and I'm in the same car, if it's the Porsche, I lose. I suck. But if I'm in the Ford, I can beat Casey. That's just because the Ford gives me that cheat hacks, you know what I'm saying? Same gap from 1 to 2 is 3 to 4. Yep. So Kevin, I'm sorry, Darren is 0.6, 0.7, or 7 seconds off, whereas Kanye is 7 seconds off with Kevin. So there's a major gap in this top 3. These guys are our alien drivers and will probably be treated as such. Poe's trying to run away. You can see that car behind. He's got a car ahead of him. I believe that's a back marker. Casey Swanseeger doing everything he can to catch up to Tonkin. Casey's down 4 positions, whereas Tonkin is down 2. So as far as pace goes, Tonkin has the pace. Consistency goes, Casey might be able to overtake him. Side by side, down Vale. Going to back out right on each other's tail as they go in through this chicane. On the way out, you see Tonkin extremely wide. Casey moving back on track to give him that space. That was dangerous. Hoping with the new pedals he can be a fast person again. You will be. You're going to have to get used to him, though. It's going to take a while to get used to. Lots of space between drivers right now. Casey doing everything he can on the exit of the loop to try and gain time towards on Tonkin down the straight. Looks like they're heel to toe down the straight. Casey's going to put his nose in, not going to be able to get it all the way in for the into the braking zone. Oh yeah, you're going to have a lot to get used to, but you're going to enjoy it a lot. Welcome to the big leagues, boyo. Kevin Rivera is now off the line here. Zach Schneider is starting to consistently run 58s. His goal was to just build that gap and then relax. So my guess is he's running about 98% of what he could be doing. Darren Thomas, 7 seconds in trail. He's about a second off his best lap pace right now in this last lap. Kevin also about a second off his. In third, Kanya alone, 7 seconds to the guy ahead, to Kevin ahead, but a second and a half to Griswold behind. He's relaxing as well, 59 flat. Griswold all alone has got 6 seconds to Kanya, 2.5 to Nico Menendez behind. Nico's going to close that gap and probably take that top 5 position. 59.3 was his last lap. Nico's 58.7. So Right now, Nico is faster than everybody ahead of him. I don't think he's got the pace to be able to catch up by the end of the race. He's got 8 minutes to try and get back up into that place. But 2 seconds behind Griswold. Behind him is Matt Russo's 7 seconds in trail with a 2:02 was his last lap. Behind him, Gerber in 8th. 3 seconds in trail. 59 flat was his last lap. That was his fastest lap of the race. Stephen Poe's last lap was a 59.8. His best lap, 59.0. He's got 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds to Gerber ahead. Casey Swanseger looks like he was able to get around Tonkin, and Tonkin fell off a little bit. So doing the self-induced Tonkin bonkin. Tonkin is now 2 seconds in trail of Casey. Devin Anthony, 12 seconds off completely. And I wonder if he has damage from that early on spin. You can see on the front he may have some damage. David Alisea in 13th. David had no practice and went straight into qualifying. Supposedly Tonkin had a drive-through. Well, he hasn't served it yet. You would see it on the left side of the screen. Trimble is going to be... He's 40 seconds off of David. And I believe he had a drive-through. Yeah, lap 6. He had a 40 seconds, so drive-through for him. So he's well off doing 203s. Back up. The only people that are even remotely close to each other is Kevin Rivera and Darren Thomas. Last lap, Darren did a 59.3 and Kevin did a 59.7. So there's still time to be gained, but is it enough? Nico. I think we're going to see Nico close this gap to Griswold in the next lap or two. So we're going to watch him for a little while, see how that goes. Would you guys like to see an onboard with Nico Menendez? Once he comes around the start-finish line, we'll jump in, do an onboard. Unless you would like to see another driver, let me know now. Nico, 1.1 seconds off. He's going to close that gap for sure. Coming out of the loop. As soon as he's in that second range, he'll be within slipstream. He's trying to get whatever he can right now down Wellington Straight. Show us the Nico way. Nico's in a car he's not comfortable with, so keep that in mind. He may be driving it a little bit differently than what you'd expect. Although, he is still extremely quick, so as he's coming through Lowfield, down the back straight, we'll jump on board with Mr. Nico. Braking right around the 50. Just a light brake to get that nose to turn in. On the gas just past the apex, all the way out. And use a lot of that curb on that left side. Through here, you're going to turn left and brake just past that first apex, just to get the nose to turn. Light braking through here, and then heavy braking through this part. Get that nose to continue to turn. Heavy on the gas early. See how the gas turns them on the way out. Down the straight. Still 1.2 seconds off. Not enough to be in slipstream, but can do whatever he can. Braking just before the rumble strips, just at it for him. Turning that nose in, you want to be on the gas early. There's usually a cone on the outside. I use that as my reference. Go really wide there. Braking just at the rumble strips here again. All the way to the inside, don't hit that sausage curb. Cutting this right corner a little bit, all the way to the outside. Tucking back in, full throttle, don't touch the sausage curb. All the way back to the outside. You can use all of that there, as long as two wheels are on those rumble strips on the right side. Light brake just to get the nose, or a lift even. You can see him actually gaining a lot of time on Griswold through here. Griswold used too much brakes. Braking at the rumbles. Nice and tight. Don't touch the sausage curb again. Really tight in here. Be on the gas as early as you can. Cutting in over these bumps. All the way to the outside. Now within 0.8 seconds of Griswold, losing a little bit of time down the straight. Braking just before that left turn marker. Heavy steering wheel input. Stay to the right and stay hard to the right. Get on the gas as early as you possibly can through here to get a good run. See how he uses all of that exit? Nice and tight here. You don't need to take too much to the inside, just a little bit of that concrete on the inside. And that was a lap with Mr. Menendez. Lift for the fast right. Yeah. Depends on the vehicle, though. Depends on how you have it set up, too. If you don't have it set up well, you might need to use brake. Nico's within that 1 second range. Gerber is within a second of Russo ahead. And Casey is within a second of Stephen Poe ahead. Nico Menendez, I think, is going to be our first battle, though. As he's catching up really quickly now to Griswold. 59.1 for him. 59.527 for Griswold. Now within that half-second range, Nico might be on an invalid lap here. It's hard to tell how race control is working. We have Griswold and Casey Swanseger. Oh, Casey's falling off as I say that. All of these drivers have gained nearly the same amount of time on the driver ahead of them. So we're going to have 3 battles at once and only 1 to watch. But I kind of want to watch Nico. I want to see what he can do. Let's go, Nico. Let's see how you do. Griswold isn't one to give up position, so he's going to have to actually fight for this. Let's see. Griswold right ahead of him there. On the way out. He should move to the center. Not moving quite enough. That might give Nico the advantage. Into the braking zone. Nico's not going to tuck in. Staying hard to the right. You see Nico go a little bit wide there. He's going to try and get on the gas a little bit earlier. Is it going to be enough to give him the advantage down the front straight? Losing some time, actually. May have been to a disadvantage there. I want to jump to Casey Swanseger now. He catches up to Stephen Poe. I'll continue to monitor Menendez as we go, but Stephen Poe is going to try and hold off this position. Casey Swanseger, that Ferrari is much faster down the straight. Very good at turning, though, so both of these cars nearly on pace with each other. See if Casey's able to close that gap a little bit. Sliding a little bit and losing some time. I'm going to go up to Gerber here. Gerber trying to close the position of Matt Russo ahead. Gerber's been with us for, what, 2-3 seasons now? It's great to see him continuing to stay with us and race with us. You can see Russo staying to that inside a little bit. Yep, he's gonna commit to that inside line and try and keep Gerber behind him. However, that's going to give Gerber that inside line into the chicane. Side by side on the way in. Able to complete the overtake on the way in. Great overtake by Mr. Gerber. Good job. Moving up, we come right into a spin by Nico. I want to see what happened from the start on that. It looked like he had just done that to himself. Tight on the way in. Touched on the outside. A little bit of grass. That's what it was. Not good, Mr. Menendez. We're on the final lap of the Pro Split of the Rookie Series. Race 1, Season 6, Noobs R Us. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. It's been an awesome evening. The AM Split was surprisingly well behaved. The Pro Split had the same amount of bonks as what I expected. Minimal. Lots of self-induced stuff. We're going to see this series progress. We're going to see drivers get better. Drivers are going to be moved between splits. Happy to see all of that. So thank you for joining us. We'll see if anybody from last season remembers that the winners are allowed to come for an interview. They're welcome to do that. They don't have to. If they don't, that's fine. After tonight's race, I will be doing a mini workshop for anybody who's interested in how to file self-reports and file incident reports. So I'll be doing a full workshop on that this evening after the race. Griswold trying to catch up to Kanya ahead on this final lap. We're going to just quickly go through the top 4 until we get there. Schneider going through farm curve, 10 seconds ahead of Darren Thomas. Darren 2 seconds ahead of Kevin Rivera. Kevin 9 seconds ahead of Kanya. And Kanya and Griswold fighting for that 4th place position. Everybody else is nearly split up. We'll watch this battle to the end here. Menendez has fallen off 11 seconds, but is still behind Griswold. So he didn't really lose a position, just lost time. It was unfortunate. But good effort from Nico, up 10 positions from where he started. So that's awesome. Griswold not able to gain a lot of time through the through Village, the Loop, and Aintree, but he is gaining a little bit of time down Wellington Straight with that draft.
The leader has finished the race.
First place winner, Zach Schneider, Darren Thomas, and Kevin will be crossing the line shortly. We're going to watch this 4th and 5th place battle to the finish line. Not able to gain enough time to pass as Nick Kanya and Griswold cross the line 4th and 5th respectively. Nico 10 seconds back will cross in 7th. Or I'm sorry, 6th. No, it was 7th. We had somebody quit out. Great race from everybody. Good to see everybody. Great welcome back. Happy New Year to everybody. We'll do some post-race interviews if people jump in. I'm going to jump in the live stream channel since I haven't been in there. And we will see what happens. Awesome job from everybody. All right, let's get the music going again. We got a replay pulled up. Anybody from the AM split, if you have the second race replay, I need that. Anybody from the pro split, I need the first place replay. I think Andrew Casey will have that one. Song's a banger, isn't it? All right, let's see what's going on in the chat. I didn't mean to block that. It wasn't supposed to be blocked. So I'm sorry. I'm going to have to unblock that in just a moment. I have to go back and do that. I'm so sorry. Oh, no. Anyways, thank you all for joining me. Let's see if we got any people. We got the pro split drivers. I'm going to drag them in.
But I just couldn't get the time out of it.
Couldn't get the time out of it, Darren says as he comes in. Hello to the pro drivers, podiums. Hello.
Hello.
Were you were you 3 podiums for both races?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Darren and Zach were. I lost it. I spun and finished 4th.
In the first race?
Yeah. Well, I didn't spin. I went grass cutting.
So, welcome back. Hello to 2025 and the first rookie race of this season. Evan, what are your thoughts so far on this season? It looked like from the second race that you guys were split up pretty good, and it was just a matter of consistency, right? So, how are you feeling?
It was fun. It was fun. I just couldn't catch up to Darren. That Mustang is too fast on the straights. I was just hoping he made a mistake, but he was pretty consistent. At the end, I gave up. I'm like, yeah, let me just take the third and not try to spin or something like that. But it was fun. It's pretty fun.
The way it was looking is anytime that Darren made a mistake, you would make a mistake too. It was just similar lap times each lap, so which is unfortunate, but that's the way it is.
To copy him.
Darren, welcome back. Good to see you racing again. How are you feeling about this season? You think you're gonna be able to catch up to Zach with his alien lap times?
Oh hell no! Apparently he went to school between seasons or something. He's out of my league now.
Well, he is running the esports team, so maybe he's got some practice in. So, how are you feeling about Kevin being in trail of you, Darren?
That's spooky. Kevin behind me is the only thing that kept me going.
Well, good.
I
I'm
spent
glad.
more time looking at the delta between he and I than I did looking at the racetrack.
Well, if you know the racetrack like you guys do, you could probably drive it with your eyes closed, right?
No, I had a hard time driving it with my eyes open.
Zach, hello. You put a massive gap between you and second place with 7 or 8 seconds. At least that was in the first half of the race. You were doing 57s, 57.4 at the beginning of the race. How are you feeling?
Pretty good. I mean, I was just saying to Kevin, I'm pretty sure this is a one-off because I don't know. I felt really good around here this week, so I'm not sure I'll be doing half a second or 6/10 faster than those guys for the rest of the season. It seems unreasonable, but this was just kind of it felt really good.
Okay. Well, what if I told you that there are AM drivers that are on pace with you, Zach? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Okay? Don't freak out. It's good to have you guys back.
Just so you know.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Just so you know, Jeremy, background secret. He was doing 57.4s while eating a steak sandwich and having a drink.
And then after he got done with all of that, he slowed down to 58.7 so he could relax, which is
I was pushing a little bit too hard at the start, and like the first race, my tires started to go off at like 20-25 minutes. They were gone at like 15 this time.
All right. Well, thank you.
Darren was keeping up with me, so I had to pull away.
Thank you to the pro drivers for joining us. I'm going to go to the AM driver. We only have one in here right now. Emmanuel, are you with us? Mr. Ramirez?
Yes, sir.
Hello, Ramirez. Hello. How are you?
I'm good, thank good. What about you guys?
Doing good. You got a first place in the first race that we watched. We didn't watch the second race. First, it looked like you were following Toure for a while, and then he had an unfortunate incident, but you were able to hold on to that first place position. How was your first and second race for you?
My second race I was first, right? And then, like in the lap 10, I have a small incident with another driver that was trying to chase me. So I finished in second place. But, well, I think that we make a really great races. It was really fun. Also, I set my fastest lap in this track, so I'm really happy for that.
Well, great.
I think that it was a great night.
It's great to see you doing so well. I'm hoping you continue to do well. Are you nervous at all about moving to the pro split and driving up with the pro drivers?
Yeah. I'm thinking on that, and well, I think that I need more experience. I need to perfectionate some other things. I need to learn a couple of things also. So I think that I'm gonna be prepared in a couple of months probably. But I'm feeling pretty good for this season.
Good. I'm glad you're feeling well. I want to tell you after watching the pro split that you are not off pace for the pro split. You could be racing mid-pack. So don't feel upset about moving if you do get moved. That's the goal, is to get better and be moved and drive with people on pace with you. So we're happy you're here. We're great to see you for second season in a row, and hopefully you keep doing well.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great night, guys.
You too, buddy. All right, everybody. I'm going to kick off this end of the stream here with a host. I just got to figure out who we're hosting. Anybody have any ideas? Otherwise, I'll open up Twitch and see what we got. Well, looks like we've got nobody that I know. Sim Racing Alliance is streaming. Let's see. SRA. Holy crap, somebody's in there with 236 views. Okay, that's a past video. Never mind. Only a couple, huh? Not a whole lot. 103 viewers total. Let's see. Tranghe's Design. Let's do that one then, huh? One viewer. Where are they at? I gotta find their stream really quick. Thank you all for joining me tonight. This was a great first race. He's been here before, hasn't he? This was a great first race. It was great to kick it off. I think the AMs did a great job. I'm not seeing him, by the way. I don't have it, so I just copy and paste it and it didn't come up. So for now, I'm gonna plan on hosting Sim Racing Alliance. Sorry for the ban on a phrase. That's not what I meant to happen, but. Yeah, I think this is awesome. If anybody who's watching would like to do the workshop, I'll be jumping into a voice channel. I'll tag everybody that I'll be starting it. It'll be the how to do self-reporting and how to do an incident report and what the difference between the two is and how they work. I'll Otherwise, we will see you guys next Tuesday. Let's go ahead and raid. See you next Tuesday for the second race. Please feel free to jump in. We're going to raid Sim Racing Alliance. Go say hi to them. Go join their series. They have awesome series that they put on as well. Ilpo's in it. You know, he's part of our Discord as well. A lot of really good drivers in there. A lot of different races that they got going on. So go ahead and give them a hello. I'm going to go ahead and raid them. Thank you guys for joining me. Have a great night.
And he will get it alongside. He's going to be right there with him. A little bit of contact between the two drivers. It will be the long line and the outside line that Colodromo will have to take the advantage of. Will he go deepo into the braking zone? He will not. He will plant it perfectly right on the defensive. Well, a little bit behind them. It's going to be Laz who will go down the inside.